Hello, I'm Azuka Uzo OJ. Please subscribe to our YouTube channel. Also click on the bell icon to get our updates. We're going to be looking at a material that is the talk of the town right now. Fani Kayode's tweet regards Abba Kyari's death is the talk of the town. A lot of people felt he shouldn't have. Today we're going to look at materials in support of what he did and those that disapproved it. And many see him as having betrayed the trust a lot of people have for him. Some see it as two-faced because of what he did. According to him, he said he maintained the relationship with Abba Kyari to his death. And Abba Kyari is someone a lot of Nigerians does not feel happy about. But let's look at the material by Dr. Bolaji O. Akinyemi. So, Femi knows what was really going on in this country. Access to persons who were troubling us was not a challenge to him. He was a fraternal member of the Shrine of the Gods of our Hardship, yet FFK posed to be the voice of the masses at sunrise to the elites he had dinner with at sunset. Shocking seems to be the eulogy of unbelievable tributes that greeted the exit of the man Abba Kyari, one of which is the confirmation of President Muhammad Buhari on the role of Abba Kyari in his government, whom he simply described as the best of us. With this, the president let to rest every insinuation regarding who was in charge of his regime by this truth revealed. Abba Kyari, by this presidential ascent, was the ugly mind, terrible hands, and bad face of Buhari's administration. Like we said, we are looking at several materials. These materials we are going to share with you exposes the views of various people in Nigeria. Some are for what FFK did and some are opposed to what FFK did. But this is kind of bringing the views of the general of Nigerians together. How they see Abba Kyari, most in support, some opposed. And by what Buhari has said also, he is clearly telling Nigerians that Abba Kyari is the best of them, that Abba Kyari has been the one among them leaders, among them ruling the country, that is best. And somehow Buhari has clarified Nigerians that the power is not in his hand but that of Abba Kyari. And Abba Kyari in earlier reports have always said that he is the one that if he is not around, that things there will be chaos. So Buhari has confirmed it again. Though Onyema was the first to wave the olive branch that triggered the controversies that are trailing a man who should have been left to rest in peace, the minister had sought to drive away the twin evil flies of nepotism and bigotry that perched on the man while he was alive. He presented to us a dead liberal Muslim who was his best man when he wedded his wife of Idoani descent in a Catholic church in Owo of Yoruba land, southwest Nigeria. Much as Onyema tried, he however didn't succeed in driving away these twin evil flies. They were lowered with Kyari's into his grave. Several tributes were of interest, while Onyema served as an attempt to paint the ugly good. Simon Kolawole is of course a bad company of an ugly life. While the quietness of Onyema can easily be forgotten, who should forgive a man who lives by the pen for refusing to furnish the life of a dear friend with beautiful line on his very ugly life but chose to write a living epistle of a dead man? I need not bother you with all all who have expressed their rights for or against in their defense of Abba Kyari. Neither do I need to struggle at convincing you about the life and times of Abba Kyari. This has been done in what I termed Tunde's Odeshora's Monday's Kill, published in the Punch newspaper of Monday, 20th April 2020, under the title The Reign of Abba Kyari. My preoccupation in this communication is to expose the Judas Iscariot, who has been calling the attention of Nigerian Christians to the Islamization agenda of Abba Kyari-controlled government with 30 silver pence in his pocket. Heir apparent of traitor lineage, who has been feeding fat at Abba Kyari's kitchen at the expense of the Yoruba nation, like his father did at the expense of our leader, the sage, late Chief Obafemi Awolowo, and of course, the Yoruba nation. All this Femi did under the guise of standing with us in defense of our common heritage. What a DNA! Femi said of Abba Kyari, I have lost a friend of 40 years, a man of honor, a good man, a loyal friend. We attended Cambridge together and worked at my father's law firm. We remained very close till his last moments. But Femi's friend was a foe of the ordinary Nigerian. So his loss was their gain. His mourning was our mourning. The death of his friend, a new day for us. His man of honor stripped us naked of honor as a people. Under his administration, Boko Haram has the edge over the rest of us, killing at will. And Fulani herdsmen must have our ancestral land without resistance, or we pay with our lives, according to Femi's namesake, surnamed Adeshina. Abba Kyari was a good man to Femi, but he was bad to the Middle Belt, Southwest, Southeast, and South-South, whose inheritances must be ruralized as a conquered territory of those who are born only to rule the rest of us. He showed us his fraternal friendship of 40 years to reveal who he truly is, a spy. As the English adage say, show me your friend and I will show you who you are. Now we know who Femi is, a dancing leaf on the surface of our water, whose drummer was Kyari Bennett the River. Remember again, we are looking at several material. This is not our view. We are trying to share the view of various people speaking on or regards the death of Abba Kyari. So we continue. This spy of the political elites among the commoners was so much in love with us that we never had a clue of his espionage mission until the death of his paymaster. The loss of his next check must have so gotten to him that his emotions got the better of his reasoning that the cat escaped from his bag. Someone will wonder, Fani Kayode would have kept silent and keep watching and not say anything about Abba Kyari. Yes, even though according to him there was a friendship in the past that had lasted to the very point he died, he would have kept calm and mourned him in the secret. But for pouring out his heart, he has exposed himself to Nigerians. How come he got away with being APC mole in PDP camp? How come the pay piper of Kyari played the discordant tunes of Goodluck Ebere Jonathan campaign organization and everyone danced his beat of avoidable electoral defeat? Femi Fani Kayode is a man with the mastery of words, eloquent in speech, witty and witty. You can hardly match him in the craft of his crafty thread of communication. Verbal or written, Femi is a man to fear, for his word pierces like a dart. But the charms of words is in the strength of character that utters them. Former President Obasanjo once described Femi as a mouth in service of his stomach. How right Baba Iyabo is. Femi had all it takes to lead Atiku Obi media team during the last election, except character. In a moment of his own anger over his consistent rejection to be admitted into the team was because of a window that was open to him at the presidency. Femi chose the window in preference to the door of the villa that was open to him, thus confirming the words of Jesus, that he that enters not by the door is a thief and a robber. Femi shunned the dignity of the doorway to climb in through the window just to keep his nefarious activities concealed. What a shame. Femi stood against Buhari for Buhari. What an award-winning Nollywood script. The spy who fooled us. He delivered his lines with skills and mastery to become the unofficial spokesman of our collective opposition against Buhari's government. While Femi's vituperations excite us, it put paid to opposition agitations against this evil administration and gave them nothing to worry about. He won our confidence and therefore became a rallying point of all who were aggrieved with the manhandling of Nigerians and the mismanagement of our resources. Visit to his Twitter handle to know what the belly was saying to the mouth was a daily duty to concerned Nigerians. Femi became the toast of the Ndibo. A masquerade dressed in the villa danced to the admiration of Igbos at home and in diaspora. Nnamdi Kanu's arms were open to him, so Kyari's confidant became Kanu's compatriot in the agitation of Biafran for self-determination. This spy fooled us. This spy fooled all. Northern Nigerian Christians saw hope in an Eshua who, for today's pot of pottage, has sold tomorrow's greatness. Except for the Spirit of God, the elect would have been deceived. I would have become a protege of mad mentor whose belly is his God. Enormous pressure were mounted on me on the need to meet Femi, but not once did I have a release in my spirit. Femi just doesn't add up. How can a man with such contentious words be so lightly dealt with by this government with its bad case with EFCC? How come the judge is not available to sit on his case? How come his security details is among the best for anyone without appointment from this government? How come every looter in Buhari's trap are quite behaving and cooperating with Kyari's controlled administration, except Femi Fani Kayode? How come Femi is the only bushmeat who seems not to be worried about the hunter and his den gun? FFK, he is undaunted by the shock of the people on the revelation of his person and the flowing streams of anger that greeted his tribute. He has a rejoinder. Read an extract. The truth is that when it comes to the gathering of information and acquisition of knowledge and what is really going on behind closed doors on this country, I know far more than virtually all of my traducers because I have access to people and places that most of them can only dream about. What a revelation. So Femi knows what was really going on in this country. Access to persons who were troubling us was not a challenge to him. He was a fraternal member of the shrine of the gods of our hardship. Yet FFK posed to be the voice of the masses at sunrise, to the elites he had dinner with at sunset. Femi Fani Kayode, this is a Yoruba I will try my best to read it out. Femi Fani Kayode, TD Lekun to Renu Toriode. Femi, the son of Fani Kayode, has become a door, seen both inside and outside of the house. A dual personality with conflicting ideology. Ohun nilepe ole ko waja, ohun nani pe oloko ko mu. He's the informant of the thieves to come and steal, who also alerts the owner to the arrival of the bandits. What a contradiction to pride in. Now here's a lesson learned. Our struggle for a better and greater Nigeria must not be politicized. Our ideology for a restructured federation cannot be championed by politicians. Our drive for generational shift in leadership will never happen left to PDP or APC. We must take our destiny in our hands and consolidate our aggregated third force movement across party divide to throw up men with values needed for leadership in this season of our nation. The folly of the wise is in their failure to understand that God is the all and only wise one. From him all wisdom streams. My prayer for Femi is same as David did in the day it became known that Ahithophel was with Absalom. "O Lord," he said, "turn the counsel of Ahithophel to foolishness." May same be the fate of Femi Fani Kayode. This material was by someone who you already know, Dr. Bolaji O. Akinyemi. Now we will show you the other side. Like we said earlier in the broadcast, that we'll play material in support and the one that is opposed to Femi Fani Kayode. We have to show the two sides. Now you deduce from what you hear. This is not an attack on him, and this is not to also eulogize him. It's simple. So we will begin to look at the other side of it. This is more like a reply to the earlier material we just looked at. It's more like a reply. Since the demise of Kyari, there has been eulogies and there has been condemnations. Yeah. We have talked about that from the Foreign Affairs Minister, Geoffrey Onyema. And that one jolted many Nigerians. And when he disclosed Abba Kyari was his best man during his wedding in the 70s. I hope he provides picture or we give him one. Despite how Abba Kyari is seen across circles in Nigeria. But if there is a tribute that shook the table and attracted ripples across the land, it was the requiem by Chief Femi Fani Kayode, who is a former Minister of Aviation and a severe critic of Buhari's administration. So you know why it shook everybody, like we said earlier? He has been a known critic of the regime. From 2015 that he came into power, Femi Fani Kayode has been attacking the regime. He has been, people frequent his Twitter page to listen to what he has to say about Buhari government. And he has never hidden his displeasure. But his tweet after Abba Kyari's death is a surprise for many. It is the most ground shaking. And a lot of people were like, is this who Femi really is? Oh, Femi had access to these guys, and yet he claimed to be the mouthpiece of the ordinary people. So let's look at this other material in defense of Femi Fani Kayode. So, like his own tribute was the one that is making waves across the country, knowing his stand from time. He said Abba Kyari was close to him for over 40 years. And despite differences in politics and religion, the relationship between the duo remained cordial. That's what he said. For many contemplating a sizzling warm rapport between Femi Fani Kayode and Kyari was simply a wishful thinking. When the former minister finally came out to confirm of a warm relationship, all hell was let loose. The other material and several others, we have the material by Dr. Bolaji Akinyemi. It is written and the title was Femi Fani Kayode, the spy who fooled us. We talked about that. In that material, he unleashed his venom on Femi Fani Kayode over his requiem on Kyari, who was seen by fault finders as public enemy of Nigerian people. Reading through this piece, it was obvious that Akinyemi could have seized an opportunity to hold on the jugular of the former minister to settle some score. So now on this second material, it's clear the writer of the first material has some score to settle with Fani Kayode, and it was an opportunity to pour out his anger. So it was not just about what Fani Kayode did, but it's a time this guy chose to avenge or choose to tell Fani Kayode that he's not happy with him. The author of the first material we reviewed. This was according to the author of this second one we're looking at, Musa Simon Rafe. In influence, Bolaji expected Fani Kayode, going by his regular criticism of the regime of President Buhari, not to have anything to do with anyone serving in the present administration. For daring to do that, Bolaji accused Fani Kayode of not only being a spy enjoying the best of two worlds, but a double agent who hunted with the hound and ran with the hare. More despicable and without any proof of any shred of evidence, Bolaji alleged that FFK was not only a beneficiary of Kyari's benevolence, but was only engaged in mounting against Islamization agenda to justify a double-faced disposition for pecuniary interest. Reacting to the criticism on FFK's tribute, Reverend Emmanuel Ololumabwa dismissed Akinyemi's diatribes and further alleged that FFK's accusers must be seriously working for some paymasters who want to provoke FFK to become silent like others. A man that has done so much for Nigerians, especially the people from the south, and an unknown miscreant suddenly rose up to start attacking, and some people joined him to repay FFK evil for his good. According to this clergyman, Reverend Emmanuel, he said there is a plan to make FFK become silent in his usual attacks or criticizing the government, that the author of the first article, is attempting at silencing his voice, that they are getting some pay from people. The attempt is at silencing him, making him not to speak any further. From the attack on Fani Kayode and the reaction of Reverend Olorunmagba, the intense animosity over the Kyari's requiem may not find a quick resolution. If FFK's bitter criticism has assisted in checkmating the excesses of the government in a democracy, could any relationship between the critic and Abba Kyari be seen as the act of betrayal? If indeed FFK was benefiting from his relationship with the late Chief of Staff, why was it possible for Fani Kayode to continue his caustic criticism against the government without let or hindrance? It becomes unrealistic for FFK to feed fat from a man whose duty was to protect the Buhari presidency and at the same time be engaged in fighting the fingers that fed him. So according to this man, FFK will not be fighting the government and still receive from Abba Kyari. He is openly vicious, and not just vicious, he openly criticized the government. He is always on Twitter saying how the government did not get it right. How comes people are saying he's receiving money from Abba Kyari secretly? How can he be biting fingers that fed him? I have known Fani Kayode for nearly 2 decades and was never shocked when he disclosed his closeness with Abba Kyari. But for those who have never known the other side of FFK, who is the undisputed chief bashing officer of the demonstrated failures of Buhari's administration, his tribute on Kyari is consistent with his trait and character as a true Nigerian. For those who lampooned the fearless FFK for identifying with Kyari, they have been oblivious of what he stands for. He is one Nigeria whose heart is always open for those genuinely concerned with issues that engender equity and justice for all Nigerian citizens. Having enjoyed the peace and brotherhood of indomitable Nigerian spirit and its potential greatness, his advocacy for an egalitarian society cuts across ethnicity and religion. Despite his constant accusation against the government's ploy to Islamize Nigeria, Fani Kayode's love is first for the country and then the people. When he rails against the injustice directed against the people, he invariably sounds a wake-up call on the leadership of the nation to beware of the stumbling blocks ahead, despite denial issues raised by FFK. Present status in federal appointment clearly shows that Christians are not only denied their fair share. Killings in Christian-dominated areas and neglect are troubling signs for believers of the Bible. So, according to this second author, whatever you wish to say about Fani Kayode, but it is still clear that what he is saying is what is happening, irrespective of whatever is motivating him. Irrespective of whatever you say, you think he's collecting money from the bank, but he is actually saying things as they were, and he's not a tribalist. It's not tribalistic. He says things as he sees it. All what he has been saying is what is happening. It is so clear. That's what the author is trying to let us know. Now we continue. Considering the indelible footprints FFK has left on the sands of advocacy for a better Nigeria, the accusation leveled against him of playing a double face cannot stand. If indeed it is true that he was feeding fat on Kyari, who we now know was the sacrificial lamb for Buhari's missteps, the fire of his criticism against the government would have turned into ashes by now. If needed, FFK had played Judas while romancing with the enemy. His many enemies in the corridors of power should have waited too long to expose him as a caricature in wolf's clothing. Hello viewers, we are waiting for your reaction on this. Should Fani Kayode have kept calm and quiet even though he has a relationship with Abba Kyari, like he said, that their relationship has been for like 40 years. When Abba Kyari worked in his father's farm, said they maintained the relationship till death. I think he is plain in heart. He is not hiding anything. He said it as it is. He doesn't care. He wants to say things that has happened, just like he has been raising alarms when certain things happen in the country. He doesn't want to hide his feeling. Now Abba Kyari is not there, but he said good things about the guy. So we'd like to know what you think, viewers. If you were to add your own view to this matter, remember, like we said earlier, we will share material for and against Fani Kayode's recent claim and eulogy of Abba Kyari. So we'd like to know what you think. Tell us where you throw your support. Is it in those criticizing his action or those in support of it? Tell us what you think about Fani Kayode now that this has happened. Have a wonderful day. Please don't fail to subscribe to our channel. Also click on the bell icon to get our updates. Bye for now. Thanks for watching Igbo Area TV. Please subscribe to our YouTube channel. Also click the bell icon. Like our Facebook page. Join our Facebook group. Follow us on Twitter and Instagram. Bye for now.